Welcome to the W2W review. Second take, not to be mistaken for the show First Take on ESPN. Nope, this is just the second take of this video. I tried doing it live from the phone. I didn't like the way it came out. Phone call came in, got interrupted. I just kind of felt like I couldn't get the message across properly. Right now, it looks like everything's working here, so we're good to go. So let's jump right back into this. So over the weekend, we traded for Antonio Brown, which, again, if you did have the chance to watch the last video, I touched base on it. Here we go. So Antonio Brown trade for a 3rd and 5th round pick. It's a lot better than I thought maybe it may have cost. I thought maybe we'd end up in around a 2nd round pick. And the fact that we got it for a 3rd and a 5th, we paid him 3 years, $50 million on the average of about $17 million a year, a little above 17.5 around there a year. You can't go wrong with that, guys. I think that's a steal. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings with Raider Nation on whether or not we should have Antonio Brown. Some people don't like his personality. They think he may cause waves and not make enough plays. I beg to differ. I think when you look back, especially what Gruden's MO is on how he brings in players, I think the guy fits the bill. I think it's a lot like what he did with Jerry Rice, except Antonio Brown is way more explosive than Jerry Rice. Not saying that he's better than Jerry Rice. I'm just saying he's a different kind of receiver. We got Jordy Nelson in place. A lot of people don't want him in the slot. I feel like he was okay in the slot, but you could bounce him around. We still may have to address the wide receiver position still moving forward in the draft. Any maybe ends up being one of those like 27th, 35th pick. You may try to get a receiver in that area. Other than that, I see the draft really going defensive at this point. Talks are that Le'Veon Bell may or may not be in the mix. It doesn't necessarily look like he's going to come to the Raiders. It looks like it's a battle between the Ravens and the Jets from the last that I heard. But until they're signed on the dotted line, they may be doing it as we speak right now in this video. But until they sign on the dotted line, we're still in the hunt. I think that would be amazing if you add Bell to this equation. In the last video, we talked about Derek Carr and whether or not they should keep Derek Carr. I said absolutely they should keep Derek Carr. I knew they were going to keep Derek Carr. All signs are proven that they're going to keep Derek Carr. There's no way that they're making all these moves and fixing the offensive line and bringing in a guy like Antonio Brown, who's been showing Derek Carr nothing but love. There's just Derek Carr's not going nowhere, which is what I wanted. And I'm not going to get into the excuses of it anymore. The bottom line is Derek Carr has to prove it this year. They are doing the things necessary to make sure there's no more excuses, right? We're not gonna, as long as Cable does his job and everybody can adapt to this zone blocking scheme, Derek Carr is gonna have the protection he needs. Now that we picked up and signed Trent Brown, who's going to be taking the place of Colton Miller on the left side, we'll move Colton Miller over to the right, which I think is going to solidify our edges, which I think is going to be fantastic. Then we got Good that we re-signed. He'll fill in. Looks like we're getting rid of Husemele, who a lot of people are happy about because they think he was garbage. He just didn't fit the scheme. Between injuries and scheme, the guy wasn't a fit. The guy was a beast in 2016. He really made a big difference for this football club, and I'm going to wish him the best come Wednesday when everything becomes official and he becomes a Jet. We saved the salary cap, allowed us to get guys like Trent Brown and balance out the contract with Antonio Brown. And I just think that Derek Carr has to. There's no more excuses. It's time to prove it. We've been waiting. 2nd year in Gruden's system, everything's starting to line up. We'll see what we do moving forward as far as the running back situation, because I know that they're getting ready to sign Doug Martin back, which I think would be an excellent move. We're bringing Jalen Richard back. We got Chris Warren, who has been allegedly said that he's overweight. And by August, he's not going to be overweight. I'm not too concerned about that. He was a great preseason grab, and I thought he played fantastic in the preseason last year, and I'm excited to see what he does. But anytime you got a chance to arguably get the best running back in the league, and I know he didn't play last year. He should be healthy. He has more than enough opportunity and skill set to become the #1 running back in the league again. So if we could land him, that'd be great, but I'm not too concerned if we don't. I just think it'd be a great asset to the football team, and it'll definitely give Gruden the type of people that he wants, because Le'Veon Bell is that prototypical type what he's looking for: run, pass catch, out the backfield, size, speed, the whole 9 yards. I know he can get that kind of play from Jalen Richard, except his size is still an issue for the everyday grind. So that's why you have Doug Martin in place. But I still think we need another answer beyond that, which could be Chris Warren. But things are lining up, guys, and we could sit here all day and talk about, well, what is it going to look like? Everybody needs to cool down. We're not even officially into free agency mode yet. That technically starts Wednesday, but things, all this stuff gets done early these days. So we know what kind of is coming forward, but this is all preseason, pre-training camp, so again, when optimism meets me at reality, remember I used to say all the time, we can be optimistic all we want. You should be optimistic. This is an exciting time. Moves are being made. We got draft picks. We got money. We're signing big name players. Things are starting to roll and things are starting to happen, but we got to make sure that our optimism doesn't overtake what the reality is going to be when the season starts. The goal here, guys, is to be extremely competitive this year, to really make noise in the AFC West. Focus on the West alone, because we need to get to the point where we're dominating our own division before we could worry about the conference and heading into the playoffs. And this year, it's all about building this team, building chemistry, and be really competitive, taking on the Denver Broncos, taking on the San Diego, I almost said the San Diego Chargers. It's been a while since I've been on here, huh? The Los Angeles Chargers, and obviously the Kansas City Chiefs, who sit on top of the division. There's a big mountain to climb here, so we don't need to accomplish everything in 1 year, but I see ourselves being really, really competitive. And if Gruden can get this offensive rolling, yeah, you never know what could happen. So we just got to sit tight, let all this stuff kind of play out. Down below, give me your thoughts of what you guys thought about Antonio Brown. What do you guys think about the potential to maybe land a Le'Veon Bell? How would you feel about that? And money aside, you got to spend money to make money. And the only way you make money, spending money in this league, is winning football games. So Le'Veon Bell can definitely do that for us. So we have to keep that in mind moving forward. So there's a lot of different things going on, a lot of moving pieces. We haven't necessarily addressed the defensive side of the ball, right? But this draft is defensive loaded, guys. There's a lot of things that could happen. I've been talking to some people that feel that there's a real good opportunity, even with us solidifying ourselves with Carr, that there's going to be a quarterback scramble within the first four picks. And if that's the case, then there is a small and slim chance that even a guy like Nick Bosa could fall back. Now, that's a little far-fetched, right? And I never thought Khalil Mack would make it back that far, and he did. So, there's a lot of opportunity. Either way, we're going to have a really good chance to land a really good pass rusher with number 4. I believe that's going to be the way we go. I'm personally right now, I'm kind of leaning towards, depending on what's going off regular, no moves made, no big things happen. I love Keenan Williams. I would love a middle passer. I know we got Mo Hurst and we got Ball and we got Ellis, but I think that with that guy's skill set, anything that we could do moving forward, especially with our linebackers, man, and really get a push up front, man, I think that'll change and get us really going on the defensive side of the ball. Our secondary is looking a lot better with, Worley coming back and just the way that they kind of develop themselves. I know we got Carlos Joseph. We're bringing back Eric Harris at safety. There's a lot. We got Conley on the side too that played really well. We need to address some linebacker issues, and I think we're in a pretty good spot. So, moving forward, guys, let's just keep on the grind, keep our focus on the prize, which is just necessarily being competitive. They're gearing up, and they're really gearing up for a 2020 run in Vegas. They really want to be primed and ready to go when we enter in that new stadium. That's their primary focus. Trust me. As much as fans want to believe that it's going to be all about the numbers and winning, they're going to give it their all to win one in Oakland. These guys are not half-hearted going about this. Don't get me wrong, but they need to build this thing moving forward. That's why we have the draft picks we do this year, the draft picks we do next year. We're going to be rolling in talented and ready to go 2020 to really make a push and a playoff run. So with that being said, let's do some house cleaning real quick. If you guys ain't following me on Twitter, make sure you guys go hit me up at The Will to Win on Twitter. I've been kind of messing around on there. I'm not uberly talented on Twitter, but I'm really working on getting better on how to manage Twitter and be more of a presence there so we can stay in contact throughout the day. And I can give my thoughts and opinions. I also like messing with a few people on there that I know when they drop something and ask them questions and just give them a bad time. It's kind of my personality. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, that's The Will to Win on Twitter. If you guys have any questions or concerns of what we may be doing here at The Will to Win moving forward, you could always email us at the W2W@gmail.com. That is the W2W@gmail.com. And yes, there's some things in the works. There's definitely going to be a podcast coming out. I definitely want to go the podcast route. Definitely, YouTube is where I started. YouTube is where I live. I'll be doing videos like this a lot. I'll definitely be bringing Pete back on board, and we're going to be hashing some stuff out. We've already been in contact, texting each other back and forth, gearing up for a podcast run. And we would like to film it on here. I mean, there's a lot of things that we're going to try to do with time restraints, with me working at the church, and Pete's got his thing going on. Podcast is going to be the way that we try to attack it. And I'm excited about it. I just want to get my opinion back out there. I really want to start breaking down this stuff for you guys and just building that chemistry that we all once had. So if you haven't liked this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. Let's get reacquainted. Let's get to know each other. Let's keep this thing moving forward. It's going to be an exciting year. There's going to be a lot of moves being made between now and draft time in April. I'm excited. We'll walk through it together. Thinking about you guys always. I hope everybody's doing well. I know a lot of the other YouTubers are still out there. There's also a ton of more content. Much love to everybody that's really taken the time to put their love and passion into the Raider Nation. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next time. Until then, stay Raider strong.